Cavolo, ma certo.
But we're not sure why it's coming.
Good.